Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to expand and develop your melodies. So I'm going to make a quick melody right now, and I'm going to show you some techniques that you can use to develop it. So I have a drum loop going, I have a patch and omnisphere. So let's just make something really simple. I'm just going to use my ear. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe just half notes. Maybe that. Start off with something really simple first. Okay. One thing we can do is put in passing notes. So you can see in the melody there's a couple big intervals, and we can put passing notes in between them, kind of like a step ladder, so that we transition between notes and it's less jarring. Once again, just using my ear, listening to where I think a passing note is appropriate. So I think it'd be cool to do a passing note between these two notes here. So I'm going to just cut this in half, do an eighth note, and we're going to just walk back up. By the way, for the passing note, it doesn't have to be in between both pitches. It can be lower or higher. Just make sure it sounds good. That's all that really matters. That sounds really nice too. Okay. So this section here is a little bit boring, so I'm going to add an ornament. Ornamentation is just melodic decoration. The feel of the melody is still the same, but we're just going to add a little bit extra to it to make it a bit more interesting. So what I'm going to do is cut off 16th notes there, and I'm going to have this one just go up in the scale like that. And you can experiment with combinations like this. So I'm going to loop it. Let's try the same note and then under one. That's not bad either. Or we can do one under and then one above. Don't like it as much. Maybe one above, one under. That's not bad either. Or like that. That's not bad either. I'm going to keep it how I had it before. It also doesn't have to be 16th notes. We can make it 8th notes. So now I'm thinking of the structure of the melody, because we had this ornamentation at the second bar. So I think it'd be cool structurally if we do it as well on the fourth bar. Maybe we start with the G, go under. That's cool. Another technique we can do is suspensions. So a suspension is when you extend the length of the note over a strong beat. For example, let's say we double the length of the melody. There's going to be a really strong beat on that fifth bar there, right? But let's say instead of doing that, we extend this note right over that bar. That's a suspension. And we can do these anywhere within our melody. So there's a really strong beat halfway into the first bar here, and I think it'd be cool if we extend this over an extra quarter note and then delete it like that. For structure, let's kind of have this repeat the same thing on the third bar. Also experiment with the note lengths. You know, having a long sustained one, it gives you a different bounce than if we, chop this up into 8th notes. And then, we make something like this. We make them really short. This is a completely different bounce now. That's good too. The last thing I want to show you is grace notes. So a grace note is basically just a passing note being played very quickly. And it's going to either be right below or right above your main note. So if this is my target note, the grace note is going to be one under or one over. Whether it's a semitone apart or a whole tone apart is going to depend on what scale you're in. So for example, if our melody is this, I'm going to add grace notes under it to make it more interesting. So grace note, grace note. I like to use grace notes in smoother sounds like leads, where you can really hear it glide into the pitch really smoothly. For pluck sounds, it might be a bit too jarring, but that's completely up to you. So these are a couple techniques that you guys can use, but that doesn't mean you have to use every single technique every single time you make a melody. So do this if you want to make your melody a bit more interesting. But if you have that one melody that's just doing whole notes throughout the whole thing and it sounds good, then that's completely fine too. There is a time and place for simplicity and complexity, and it's your job as a producer to figure out when it's appropriate.